bad one, is it? That ain't a bad one. Well, good morning. Welcome to the River Trent. Not exactly how we planned it to start, but as you can see, I've got a cracking chub. We've come down into sort of peg 97, 98 area, so we're right down. In fact, it's a section that I've not fished before, this far down. So it's always pleasing to get your first bite from a new section. Well, what a day we've had. I'm back on the Trent at Collingham. We've come right down the far end of the day ticket section. It's not an area that I've ever fished before personally, and it's been a bit of a tough one to say the least. I've just had a chub, you know, so far, a good chub at that, in the region sort of 5.5, maybe a little bit bigger. But barbel wise, I'll be honest, I'm struggling a little bit, so I'm just about to reload the rods, tackle them back up with a bit of fresh bait, and get them back out there and see whether we can catch something else. It's been a tough day, to be fair. And I was full of hope, and I've also had a fairly big chub, and now we've actually got our first barbel, but it's taken us a while. She's not massive, but she's feisty. Come on. Oh. Well, it's taken a while, but it's a Trent barbel. She's only a little one, but she's more than welcome. Bless her. It's been a bit of a strange day, to be fair. We've arrived this morning, and I felt like I was buzzing, and it was gonna not kick off, but I'd maybe get 1 or 2 bites. But we've come down to the end of the section. We're on Collingham. We've come right down the end of the section, and I like it. It's a nice bit of the section. So I've never fished it before, so we thought we'd give it a go. And just kept baiting, recasting, putting some more bait out, and I'd had a chub, a fairly decent chub, a nice sized chub, but this is the first barbel, so I'm going to slip this one back, get some bait on the rod, and get it back out there, see whether any more, 1 or 2 more are on the mooch. Right, so I just wanted to quickly run you through what I caught that last fish on, basically, and it's pretty similar to what I was using in the last video that we done. And as I said earlier, I've been mixing the day up basically with between boilies, pellets, small, large, just trying to force a bite because it's been tough. But that last fish was taken on a 10mm pellet, and I'm fishing it in conjunction with pretty standard bolt and run kit with a combi feeder with the caps taken out, and in that I'm then sort of wedging 6mm and 8mm cheesy garlic and some krill pellets in between some ground bait, a hemp and halley crush from Sonyu, and then down at the business end again it's just a banded pellet and a small PVA bag, and I've kept feeding this one sort of on my nearer line, so probably about a third of the way out in the river. So it's been nice and easy to sort of get a bit of bait out there with the catapult, and obviously for baiting purposes just makes it a lot easier if you can get away with it. Unfortunately for me, the slightly deeper water in this particular swim is all in this my half then, if you like, my third of the river, so it's been sort of like simple for me to keep bait going into the swim. So right, I'm going to get this back out there. We've not got long left, so let's try and get another one before we go home. Well, two totally different contrasts of today is, I would have said, the weather this morning being a bit more cloudier and a little bit more overcast. Would have offered us 1 or 2 more bites. But now this sun is up and we're knocking on into the afternoon now, and the sun's up. I've literally just wound a rod in to re-chuck it, and as I was doing that, this one's buckled over. I don't like coming up and onto this shallow ledge, or shallower ledge. I don't think it's massive, but it's a barbel nonetheless. Come on. Oh. It's been tough, to say the least, but as you can see, it's another Trent barbel. I'm trying to mix it up a little bit with my tactics at the minute, just to try and force a bite, or just, you know, see whether anything else can get us a bite. So yeah, there we go, another little Trent barbel. Well, as you can see, I'm currently bent into what I think is going to be a barbel. It's certainly pulling well. This was the downstream rod, and I'd been fishing it, to be fair, on, well, I tried so many things on both rods today, as in bait wise, and for the best part of the day I'd been fishing a boilie on this rod, and obviously picked up a couple of small fish, and then it went deathly quiet. So I've edged me bets and I put the boilie out in the middle of the river now, and this one I swapped over to a pellet and just kept feeding it. It's pulling my arm, so there we go. Another splasher, as we call them, but they're all welcome. We've had a right tough day. We've not managed to land on any bigger specimens then, should we say, but so we've been mixing things up so much throughout the day, trying to force a bite, and we're knocking on to about 5 o'clock-ish, I think, now, so we haven't got long left, to be fair, before we have to be off. But I'm going to have one more cast and see what happens before we have to set sail and get out of here. But there you go, another small Trent barbel. Just quickly, while I've got this rod in, as I say, I've been mixing it up. I've got a combi feeder on the other rod. This rod has got one of the big leads on, the gripper leads then. Same again on a bolt and run kit. And what I do is I put a few pellets in the lead, and then I'm wrapping it in my ground bait mix. Just to give a little bit of feed out there and a little bit of something else. So I'm fishing it in conjunction with a PVA bag anyway around the hook. So again, you know, just a few free morsels in the area. This one's actually on a 15-pound smoke shield hook link, and I'm actually using a little 12mm boilie on this. I've been mixing it up between 12s and 15s today. Size 12 grappler hook and a little PVA bag. So yeah, just, you know, putting it out there and just trying to force a bite, as I keep saying. So let's get it out there. Right, so just quickly, I'll just run you through the rods and reels that I've brought with me for this trip. For a long time, I've been a fan of the Trilogy rods. So now what we've got is a newer version then with the 3K weave. They come with obviously three options. So I'm actually using the 2.2 tip on this occasion. They also come with a 175, and then they come with like a quiver tip carrier with, you know, 2 or 3 different quiver tip sections for that rod. So they're an absolutely lovely rod. So I've got the old version as well, absolutely love them. And then coming down to, I've got the radius reels. These are the 500 bait runner radius reels. And again, I've got them loaded up with 15-pound barbel line. You know, the Trent's quite an enduring river, or can be. There's rocks, boulders. It's quite hard, or it can be quite harsh fishing. Even the ledges, like the way you bring the fish up the, or winding in, coming up the shallow ledges out of the main bit of the river, you know, so you need some sort of like good line on there to combat that, and should we say. So yeah, Trilogy rods, radius reels, away you go. Ooh. Oh. This don't feel too bad, mate. We deserve this. We've gone at it, we've worked fairly hard. We ain't got long left, or we hadn't got long left. It's been a day ticket. We have to be off at a certain time, so we're not actually, or I'm not actually a member, so it's just day ticket. Day ticket Collingham. Oh, it's not massive. Whew. Well, as you can see, light's starting to give a little bit on us. We're hanging on, and I've just had this one. Again, not a massive fish, but they all count. You know, it's what we come for. So it may well be my last fish. So if it is, then thanks again. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Who knows where? Yeah, here it goes.